What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Summer Career Mode. It is episode number 42, returns today with the season finale as we wrap up season 5. The treble dreams dying in embarrassing fashion, of course, but we should be able to win at least one or two. And in fact, we will win at least one or two. We are currently 3 clear of Liverpool with a game to go, and because of the goal difference swing, the title's basically ours. Avoid defeat to Newcastle on the final day. That'll be our first game today, and we will be champions guaranteed. But even a loss and Liverpool beating Man City still might be enough. There needs to be a goal difference swing of 8 on the final day. The likelihood of that is very, very slim. And of course, we'll have the FA Cup final, aim to retain it, go back to back, and go for that domestic double for the first time in club history. Chelsea at Wembley in the FA Cup final. And as we see pre-game, 2 of our youth boys asking for pro deals, so we'll give them contracts. Now, at this stage of the save, I often say it takes someone really special to make it at this current point, but you never know, right? So I might as well give them pro deals. Anyway, first of the 2 games, final ones of the season. It is the Premier League final day, Newcastle away at St James. And again, we know the championship is basically in the bag. 1 point guarantees it mathematically, but even a loss on the final day still might see us be crowned champions. With that being the case, on the back of a loss to Arsenal, lots of tired legs, lots of rotation, but Reggie Bond will definitely be starting because I want to see him lift that Premier League title, Reading's first in club history. Let's avoid the back-to-back losses going into the cup final though, and at least get a point here today. Come on, you works. Yeah, I mean, it might be practically nothing to play for, or so it appears pre-game, but hey, at the end of the day, like, you know, I don't want to go into that FA Cup final on the back of back-to-back defeats and only 1 win in 4 games and 3 losses in 4 as well, I think it will be. So, yeah, form, as we know, very overpowered. So, heading into that cup final, it'll be nice to make sure we have a win under our belts. As Obafemi gets away, rolls it across, and Aziz should have given us the opener. Cheers, mate. Yeah, win him. Keep going, keep going. Just off you go, off you go, off you go. Oh, brilliant ball, brilliant ball. Felix Bishop giving him some game time this season, and I must say, well, I said just a moment ago that there's, you know, a stage in a save where it becomes so much harder for young players to break through and have an impact, but there's been a couple of players that you might have seen this season I've given a bit of game time to. Chinedu Davies has got me a couple of goals, and Felix, who I believe has just got his first for the club as well. These are 2 pretty decent young players as well, as Bishop gives us the opener. So it's not to say that no one can make it past the point of like season 4, season 5. It is just a little bit harder. But hey, listen, Wilhelma, this is only his 2nd full year for us, and he's become one of our most important players. Bishop or Davis or both could also end up having a big impact on this team as well. And that might be the goal that wins the title, so not much of a bigger impact you can get than that. Leading by 1 courtesy of Felix, and to be fair, let her go right. Sorry, there we go. It's been a perfect start. This will be 2. Aspria in behind the back line, waits, and smashes it. Not into the top corner. Karius says otherwise. Even so, leading by 1, going all out. And like I said, I want to make sure we get at least 1 win heading into that cup final in our final 2 league games. Easy. Go and shoot, I dare. You're never going to beat Bennett from there. 31 minutes to go. Still leading by 1. Reggie is absolutely gassed out there, man. Seriously. That header by Guimaraes goes just wide, but I need to keep him on. This is, again, something that I really want EA to look into, man. Like, captains. First of all, why can't you choose your captain mid-game? That's really, really annoying, man. Seriously. I'm sure you guys have felt the same as me when you want to bring your captain off, but you think you can't because you want him to lift that trophy on like a moment like this. But also as well, like, why can't you choose who lifts the trophy? I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, even if you take your club captain off, it doesn't mean it has to go to, like, you know, the next in command. And you can't even choose that next in command either. I really want EA to look into that, man. Seriously. Improve the captaincy selections for, you know, who gets it automatically. Being able to change captains mid-game as well. Bond bravely does really well there. And we'll get the danger away too. And also, again, the final whistle when trophy celebrations are there. You don't have to have your captain on, because look at Bond. Look at Bond's energy. He's gassed, man. I'm risking him pulling up and missing that cup final just so I can see him lift that trophy as well. It feels silly, but I don't want to take him off and then the captain's armband goes to someone like, I don't know, CJ Egan-Riley, who, with all due respect, has been a good servant of ours, but he's not the choice that I would ordinarily have. Even so, 13 minutes to go. We're almost there. We're almost there. Well, we knew the title was ours anyway, but it is nice to know that on the back of the loss to Arsenal, we don't have what would have been back-to-back losses to end the season off heading to the cup final. The annoying thing is, though, I don't know if we're going to get trophy celebrations because we're away from home and... Oh, no, there we are. I preempted it. Never mind. Jumped the gun there. Anyway, trophy celebrations. And for the first time ever, Reading Premier League winners. But Bond just about kept himself out there. We'll be able to lift it too. Yes, we knew it was done even heading into the game because of the goal difference swing. So I guess the title celebrations were somewhat subdued as we felt we'd done it in our win at Old Trafford. But even so. First ever PL title for Reading, and it is so good to know we won't go into the FA Cup final on the back of back-to-back losses. So yeah, buzzing with that. Buzzing that Bond didn't pull up for injury despite being absolutely gassed at the full-time whistle as well. And there we go, Premier League season comes to an end, and we take one final look at the table as well. Who Newcastle, heading into that game, needed to win in order to have any chance of surviving. And because of our win against them, they're now relegated. And yeah, we could have lost on the final day. Like I said, it wouldn't have mattered either way. Liverpool were beaten by Man City 4-1 at Anfield. Wow, so we still would have been challenged regardless. But we weren't to know that. We still wanted to do a professional job, and we did. League's fourth best scoring record this season. But it was the defence that won us the championship, with only 26 conceded in 38 games. 28 wins in 38, and the 88 points on the board. See us champions. Liverpool in second, Man City third, Spurs in fourth, holding off Arsenal in 5th, Chelsea 6th, and Aston Villa in 7th. The top 10 wrapped up West Ham, Manchester United, and Wolves as well. And as we go into the second half of the table, we see the bottom three. Well, like I said, Newcastle needed to win on the final day to have any chance of surviving, and even then, they probably still would have gone down because of the goal difference swing. They knew, just like Liverpool on the final day, they'd need a miracle, and in the end, they couldn't provide it. They're down alongside Brighton and Bournemouth, and I'm going to be going after a lot of those players with those teams there, because Newcastle, Brighton, even Bournemouth have got some absolute ballers in their teams. As for the individual stats, well, the Golden Boot was won by Darwin Núñez, not at Liverpool, but at Spurs now, of course, with 23 and 36. Haaland second and Martinelli in third, with Nkunku in fourth for Chelsea, and Bradley Barcola fifth in scoring as well. And Dooney was in the top 7 with 17 and 34, really good goal to game ratio of 1 in 2. And Asprilla, who had an amazing season for us too, was also in the top 10 with 16 as well. How things have changed since our first year in the Premier League. We didn't have a single player in the top 25. Now we've had 2 in the top 10, and Femi with 10 in 25 also made the top 25 too. Vilhelmer Anderson wins the assist title, missed out on it by 1 to Saka last year. This season does win the assist title. Van Dooney also in the top 10 with 8 in 34, and that's why I turned down a big bid from West Ham at the start of the season. He is so good as Asprilla and McGree were also in the top 25. Oh, Nibs as well with 5 in 31, and as for the Golden Glove, third straight for Bennett, and his best ratio of the save so far, 19 and 38, averaging 1 in 2. I don't know if he'd ever beat that Petr Cech record of 24, but even so, third straight Golden Boot for the Wonder Kid, American shot stopper. And Erling Haaland, as you'll see, was player of the season in the Premier League this year, despite missing out on the Golden Boot. The team of the tournament, as you'll notice, saw Alisson in there alongside Theo Hernandez, Miguel Gutierrez, and who's that Man City player there? Who's that? Oh, that must be a new Jane Castro. But Reggie Bond is back in there. Second in 3 years for Reggie Bond. Didn't get it last season, did this year. The midfield was Martinelli, Anderson, the assist title winner, Odegaard and Foden. And the top wow, what? Okay, top 2 was Darwin Núñez and Guirassy of Burnley. But, so, player of the season was Haaland, but he didn't get in the team of the season. And goalkeeper of the tournament was Bennett, but he didn't get in the team of the tournament. EA they've got to work on this, man. It makes absolutely no sense. I'm glad to see a couple of Reading players in there, but how Haaland, who was player of the season, and Bennett, goalkeeper of the tournament, didn't get in there, I've got no idea. EA have got to work on this, man, seriously. Right, let's do it then. Final game of the season. FA Cup final against Chelsea, and unlike last season, we head into the final as underdogs, taking on the Blues, aiming to win it back-to-back and pick up our first domestic double in club history as well. Might have finished as Premier League winners, but again, because of Chelsea's lineup, I'd probably say we are slight underdogs, but not by much, and that shows you how much we've grown over the past few years here since we've been in the top flight. So heading into the game, Chelsea lining up in a 4-2-3-1 with what is, to be fair, a really awesome team. You've got Majecki between the sticks, and the back four is a Regen Nunez, Buongiorno, now 85 overall, Facundo Medina, and also Mark Cucurella, 83 overall on that left-hand side. Enzo Fernandez, now 88 overall, Moises Caicedo are the DMGO, and you've got Ice Cold Palmer on the right, 88 overall. He always scores against me in career mode, so it will definitely bag a brace today, I'm sure. Mikhailo Mudryk, the Ukrainian, on the left-hand side, and Mikel Merino is the attacking mid supporting Durosimi, who leads their line. Chelsea in the FA Cup final going for back-to-back, but I won't be too devastated if we don't win back-to-back FA Cups and a domestic double, knowing the Premier League's in the bag, but let's see if we can do it anyway. Come on, you Royals. Yeah, it'll be a totally different scenario if we hadn't won the Premier League or the Europa League. Of course, we didn't win the Europa League, but it'll be a totally different scenario if we hadn't had a trophy in the bag, because it's like, you know, we would need to win in order to make sure we don't end trophyless, you know. And I do find that sometimes, that when a team goes into a cup final, if they've won the league, and I should say the cup final comes after the final league games, there's not as much kind of like desperation to win it, if you know what I mean, because they've already got something in the cabinet. We saw it last season. You know, Man City going to that cup final against Manchester United, they were favourites. Of course, a rival battle against Manchester United, a derby. Of course, you'd never want to lose a cup final anyway, especially when it's against a rival of yours. But I do wonder if Man City didn't win that Premier League and it was won by Arsenal or Liverpool, would they have won the FA Cup? It's one of those where it's like we never know the answer, you know. It's just, you know, hypotheticals. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there is something to that when you've already wrapped up one trophy, one major honour. Oh, great save by Bennett. It doesn't feel like there's as much riding on it, even though of course you still want to win it. Great save there. Still 0-0. Of course, missing Bindon and Renato for this game does make us a little bit lighter on defence. I mean, I would say Renato is, even at 80 overall, now 32, our second best defender in this team. The best? Bindon. Missing them both. They are such good, tough tackling, strong, defence-minded players. Big, great ball, Anderson. Big bloke, had them both out for the cup final. Good ball, Gruev. Good ball, Shirkin. All the good balls. Oh, get out of the way. I'm doing it as a Spria. Could have been sent through. 37 minutes in. KG. First half. Chelsea with the only opportunity so far. Saved by Bennett. At the moment, really struggling out there to assert myself on this game. Yeah, he's going to do it for the first half. And it is indeed still goalless, tense, cagey, nervy. We always have a good game against Chelsea when we play them. But in this cup final, it's yet to spark into life as of yet. Marino and Anderson not creating like they normally could. And as things stand, set for extra time and then set for penalties as well. It's got 0-0 written all over it. Sometimes people ask me, like, what's the best game you've ever seen live, Doxy boy? What's the best game you've ever been to? There's a couple that stand out for me. You know, both as a Millwall fan, of course. But when it comes down to like the worst game I've ever seen, like the most terrible kind of uneventful game I've ever seen. I went to a Manchester derby back in, I think it was 2010, many years ago now, and it was awful. It wasn't the 4-3 with the Michael Owen stoppage time winner. It wasn't the 6-1 at Old Trafford. No, it was a 0-0 at the Etihad. It was, honestly, it was a terrible game. The only thing that came out of the game that was memorable was Rio Ferdinand and Carlos Tevez having a little moment, so to speak. It was a terrible game, awful game, and this game feels very similar. I mean, there's so much at stake. You see in the top left there, both teams have had a shot on target. Ours wasn't noteworthy. Bennett, yeah, has made a decent save, but other than that, it's been awful, absolutely awful, and has not got going. As O'Shea makes the tackle on Palmer, and to be fair, both defences have been good, but it's been very little in the way of great creativity. Mudryk down the left-hand side, trying to get away from Reggie Bond, who holds up the Ukrainian, makes the tackle. He's done a great job, to be fair, Reggie, today. Really great job. Not a full fitness. Oh, Anderson, can you finish? Phil Halma! Reading lead with 13 to go. Awful cup final, but the Icelandic kid. What did we say when he went to St. Pauli? It was going to make or break him. As a young man, his team finished rock bottom of the Bundesliga. He had a really tough year in Germany as a kid, but he returned a man. He's won the assist title, and he might have just won us the FA Cup as well. Brilliant breakaway and finish. This has been an awful game. Absolutely awful, but hey, sometimes in moments like this and in fixtures like this, it comes down to who is more clinical. In a game of few chances, who can take the one they've got? Well, Bennett made a good save early on in the game to keep it at 0-0. And for our chance, Wilhelmer kept his composure. Fernandez! Said, I know how to be clinical. Drills it in bottom corner. And the game explodes into life in the final 15. Reddingford had won it. Enzo Fernandez thought otherwise. We're going to extra time. Yeah, that is going to do it. Extra time it is. Extra time it is. And we know if it goes to penalties, it's only going one way. But 30 more minutes. When the game explodes into life, I'm expecting some chances in extra time. Half an hour more to play before the spot kicks if we get there. I'm going to make a big call in extra time as well. I'm going to bring on McGree for Shirkin. Savage on for Gurev as well for a bit more energy for the middle. But Riley McGree at left back. And the reason I'm doing this is because in the FA Cup final last season, we were tied against Bolton. I brought on McGree at left back, and then he got the assist practically directly after coming on for what was the game winner. That's the energy I want to see, Savage. Unlucky son. And hopefully McGree will do it again. I have this. Oh, that's exactly what I brought Savage on for, but not that kind of passing. That's like often my go-to substitution. It is so basic. Bringing on a winger for a fullback and just hoping for the best. It's not quite Pep Guardiola tactics, but yeah, fingers crossed it'll do the job for us like it did last season, as we're still tied. And is there going to be a winner in extra time, or are we going to pens? Femi, Bond, Amdouni, Anderson once again. No, denied. And turn behind for a corner. 8 after the restart. Looking much more energetic. Going for that late winner. Go on, Wilhelmer. Good delivery. Oh, Amdouni just over. Corner, Chelsea. Cole getting the ball and asking his teammates where he wants them to be in the area as they look for a winner in extra time. To be fair, the game, I can't believe how bad it was for the first, 70 minutes or so. And as soon as we got the goal, it's totally changed. It's Fernandez who got the level, has his shot blocked. Jonathan Pulisic gives it him back, quick 1-2. Shot comes in, oh, it's gone in! Bottom corner! And Christian Pulisic has surely won it. I want to see that on the replay because I don't know how far in the corner that was there. And we know this season Bennett has dropped a couple of mistakes, but I want to see that on the replay. He seemed to side foot it, but I don't think it was that in the corner. Plays a 1-2 of Enzo Fernandez. Takes aim. Might have seen it slightly late, but oh, I don't know for Bennett. Should he have got something on that? Not the best angle there. Arrowed in. And Chelsea, I think, have won it. Yeah, I think that would be harsh to blame Bennett for that. I really do. It was accurate. It may not be the most powerful of strikes, but it was accurate. I don't think you can blame Bennett for that one. He made a brilliant save early in the game as well, to be fair to him, as the referee blows for a free kick, but it's too late anyway. It's too late. I don't think I can blame Bennett for that. I think that would be incredibly, incredibly harsh on the youngster, but it is over. Chelsea have come from behind to win it. And it is not going to be our first double in club history. That is gutting, man. Honestly, the game totally exploded into life after 70 minutes, but just couldn't keep Chelsea's star-studded lineup at bay in extra time. I don't think you can blame Bennett for that. I really don't. That was arrowed into the corner. If not with power, then with accuracy. Bottled it, leading by 1, a few minutes to go. Surrendered it, extra time. Had a chance early, but in the end conceded and lost. Chelsea Cup winners. I mean, I don't know if you can say I bottled that. That's kind of harsh against what was a stronger side based on rating alone. But from a leading position, it always hurts to lose a final from a leading position. especially considering there was only 5 minutes to go before Enzo Fernandez found that leveller, so just couldn't hold on. And you have to ask the question, if Renato was out there, the tough tackle and DM breaking up those lines, if you had Binden out there in the back line as well, our best defender, would we have held on? Would we have shut the door? Would we have grind out the 1-0 scoreline that we often would do so when Tapia and Binden were out on the pitch? Maybe not, but I guess we'll never know. Even so, Chelsea probably were slightly the better team anyway, to be fair. I'm not even going to try and deny that. It was reasonably balanced. I think Chelsea probably deserved to wedge it. So I guess the scoreline and the manner of the way they won it was kind of fitting and appropriate. Even so, there we go. I said it during the game, you know, when you've won that Premier League title, you go into that cup final, sometimes it's not necessarily quite as meaningful, but like the pressure isn't as much because you know we've already got one in the bag. Maybe that played into it, or maybe Doxy Boy just choked. I think it was the latter. Even so, Chelsea winners FA Cup, and we don't have our first domestic double in history. And so, as taking a look at the other competitions won this season, beginning with the Carabao Cup, we were of course knocked out in the third round by Crystal Palace 2-0. In the EFL Cup, the winners ended up being Manchester City beating Wolves by 2-1 in the final for the League Cup this season. As for the Conference League, we saw Leicester go all the way to the final, taking on Valencia and beating the Spaniards by 3-2 in a 5-goal free. So that's now 2 English sides winning the Conference League alongside West Ham as well, as Leicester get their first in history. As for the Europa League, of course, we had a great run going all the way to the semi-finals before being knocked out by the team that I said were the favourites. That was Napoli. They met Spurs in the final. And as I always said, there's no shame in getting beaten by the best, man. No shame at all. Napoli beating Spurs by 2-0 to win the Europa League. And as I run you through the Champions League that we're going into for next season, yeah, I've always had that kind of mindset. Like, if you've been knocked out of a competition, if you've been beaten by the eventual winners, I never think there's any shame in that. Because it's like, well, you were beaten by the best. Quite literally, by definition, you were beaten by the best team in that competition if they went all the way to win it. There's no shame in that, because it wasn't just you they beat, it was everyone else, you know? So there's no shame in that. But as for the Champions League, as you'll see, classic ties in the quarters, man. All of those were great. And heading into the final, it was Milan versus Barca, who thrashed into 6-1 over 2 legs and beat Milan 3-1 in the final as well, as Hansi Flick gets Barcelona the Champions League this season. Going into it next season, first time ever in club history, man. Really looking forward to that. And so, as we take a look at the other leagues around the world, starting with the EFL, you see the Championship, Sheffield United up as champions with Forest in second. Playoffs being Brentford, Southampton, Blackburn Rovers and Luton Town as well. My boys Millwall was second at the halfway stage and he ended up didn't even make the playoffs. As for the bottom three, that was Barnsley, Stoke and Derby. As for League One, the Tigers and Pompey, the top two of the playoffs being Charlton, Huddersfield, Blackpool and Bristol Rovers. I've never had Millwall make the Premier League in one of my career modes via the AI, but I have had them do it once in a Football Manager save. That was so good to see, man, honestly. But I've never had them do it in one of my career mode saves, so you never know, man. Maybe next year. That's what I always say to him, say to myself in real life as well. As for League Two, top three, Swindon, Port Vale, Mansfield, playoffs, Cambridge, Salford, Cheltenham and Stockport, and the team bottom of the EFL in this season's career mode, Sutton United. No shocks in Ligue 1, as always. Lille random, kind of close, but still finished 6 points behind. Paris Saint-Germain, the eventual winners, as often the case, Monaco and Marseille also making the top four. It really is unbelievable how this has happened, man, honestly. Harry Kane still searching for that first winner's medal within the save, man. Whereas since he left Bayern, they've won it back-to-back. Extraordinary. Yet Bayern winners of the Bundesliga back-to-back, back on top. Didn't win it the first 3 seasons when Kane was there. Now they've won it back-to-back. The Harry Kane curse, I don't know whether it really exists in real life. I don't really believe in the supernatural like that, as Dusseldorf finished bottom and winless as well. But in this save, it definitely is true. Kane still hasn't won, and yet since he left Bayern, they've won back-to-back. But as for Serie A, Juve champions finishing 9 clear in Napoli in second. Inter and Rome were up in the top 4, with AC Milan in 5th in Italy's top tier. Ajax champions of the Eredivisie, 3 clear of PSV and 5 clear of Feyenoord to win another Dutch championship this season. Porto, who won the Champions League 2 seasons ago in this save, one of the biggest underdog CL wins I've had from an AI side. Champions of Portugal this year, if not champions of the Champions League. 6 clear of Sporting and 10 clear of Benfica in third to win the Liga Portugal. And as for the Scottish Premiership, as I always say, it's only the end of the first phase, but you just got to assume they went on to win it. Celtic, 8 clear of Rangers, obviously a massive win in the Old Firm on the weekend. Early season battle, 8 clear of their Old Firm rivals to win the Scottish Premier League, we assume, this year. here. And it was a League and Champions League double for Barcelona, but a big story was Real Madrid, not even top 4. Wow, how about that? Most decorated CL team of all time, what are we playing in it next season, finishing 5th. I think that's the first time I've seen that in FC24, not even making the Champions League. We'll end with 2, as we always do. The Turkish Super League, where Galatasaray were champions, 4 clear of Besiktas and 6 clear of Fenerbahce to win the Turkish top tier this season. And as for the MLS, which just got going, 16-17 games in, it is New York City jumping off to the fast start. And as I always say, if you want to find out whether Messi's retired or not within a save, check out Inter Miami are getting on in the MLS. When he's still in the game, they're practically always top or second. When he's retired, they're around here. I'm not calling them a one-club team, don't get me wrong, but yeah, Messi's influence is clear to see. And so as we end the season by taking one final look at our team, starting with the team management section, heading into the new season, Champions League. You know, at the end of every season, I'm always like, oh, this is the area I want to improve on, and let's say this is our starting budget, this is the target I'll be going for, and this is the amount of money I'll be looking to spend. Because of the low budgets we've had in the save, I'm not going to bother this season, because we're probably going to end up with like another 16 million or whatever for the summer window, because we keep on getting shortchanged by the board quite literally. But if I did have a bigger budget for next season, which touch wood, fingers crossed we will, I would say we need a successor for Tapia. 2 injuries for him now, 32 years old, and a really good DM to take the Peruvian's place, and also possibly a new right winger for Femi Aziz, who was decent this season, but I don't know, man. That's probably where I'll be looking, a new DM or a new right midfielder for the new season. But again, because of the budgets we've been working with, I don't know. I literally do not know what we'll get for next season, man. The team is good enough to win a Premier League title. Whether we can do it back-to-back or not, I guess we'll see. We know we're going to lose a couple of players on free transfers, such as the Kelvins. I think 09 is probably going to retire at the end of next season as well. But I really don't know. I love to think about where I'm going to look to improve the team heading into the new season. But again, because of the low budgets we've been working with, I can't even like guess. I literally can't even estimate what we'll be able to work with in the new season. I've got no idea. But as for Bennett, Golden Glove winner at 4 ratings to 80 overall this season, we certainly won't be replacing him or this man, Dennis Shirkin, 3 goals and 3 assists in 34 games. Not sure how much better he can get now, but at 82 overall, this guy's solid at left back, man. Never lets me down when he's on the pitch, so got no plans to replace him. I don't know if Dara Rochelle will come back for another year or whether he'll just have a one and done. Upper rating to 80 overall at 29 years old. Probably not going to get much better, but since we recalled Owen Haynes, he lost his place in the first 11, but he wasn't really doing much wrong until then. The only problem is he's on the crucial squad role, and he literally only signed at the start of the season. I've got a feeling it'll be a one and done for Dara, but I guess we will see. As for Tyler, of course, no plans to replace the captain. Gutted he missed the end of the season. Again, would we have won the FA Cup if he was out there for it? Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll never know. But even so, Bin is still club captain, up 3 to 82 overall. And he and Haynes maintaining as our partnership. But again, what a decision it was to loan out Owen Haynes, man. Recalled him in January, grew 6 ratings overall, but 5 of those were out on loan. I never like to give too many tips on how to play the game because A, I think you should play the game however you want, and B, I'm not as good of a strategist as other players out there. But that is the one tip I would give. If you want quicker players in your youth players, look at that. Loan them out. Loan them out. It really is the best way to get quicker growth. Haynes grew 5 ratings in 2 seasons. This year in 1 year, he grew 6, but 5 of those 6 were out on loan. Amos has grown 7. Loaning out your players is the best way for quicker growth. Kelvin, who's been here since season 1, is leaving coming the end of the season to join Real Oviedo, so totally fine with that. I don't know if CJ will return or not. He did negotiate a lower squad role to sporadic, so I'd like to keep him as a backup for Reggie Bond, but I guess we will see. But as for that man himself, up 3 to 85 overall, captained us to lift the Premier League title, but 3 goals and 4 assists in 37 games, up to 85 overall, still has that potential to be special and still getting better. Obviously, he's going nowhere as Reggie, our vice captain, remains as one of our most important players. And I think he played more games than anyone else this season. Patterson, who of course gave a pro deal to, I'll try and loan him out for the new season. The Lumberjack, that aesthetic is ridiculous, man, honestly. But again, for 09, down 3 ratings, just plays garbage time minutes in this team. I think he'll be retiring at the end of next season. 33 years old, barely plays. He's still got 2 years, but I think he'll probably retire at the end of next season. I guess we'll see. As for Renato, 2 injuries for the Peruvians saw him go down from 81 to 80. 32 years old. There's a chance he might retire at the end of the season. I wouldn't want him to. I'd like him to do at least 2 more years for me, but I guess we'll see. I am looking for a replacement for the summer anyway in that DM spot. Now he's getting older and starting to get a few knocks here and there, but hopefully he doesn't retire. I'd like for him to stay at least. But as for Gruev, I think he'll be staying as well. He's been here since season 4, upper rating to 80 overall. No, season 3, sorry, but 5 assists in 31. I said before, as a passer, this guy barely ever misplaces a pass. So yeah, I like Gruev, man. Upper rating, and hopefully he'll stay in the prime of his career right now. Charlie Savage, keep on saying at the start of every single season, this might be his last year, and he's still here since the very beginning of the save. I guess we'll wait and see what happens. But as for Oakley, might try and loan him out for the new season. I kept him here because I wasn't sure whether I was going to use him a bit more this season. In the end, I didn't. I should have loaned him out again. That's my fault. I called that wrong. I thought I was going to give him a bit more game time this season with 9, getting downgraded rapidly, and the Renato injury as well. But in the end, I decided to play Harvey Nibbs in the DM spot, so that was my mistake there. I should have tried to loan him out. I think it had a potential decrease at the start of the new season. That's my fault, man. I got that wrong. But as for McGree, upper rating of 78 overall. He's still on the crucial squad, right? I'm going to try and negotiate a new contract for the new season. But you see the negotiation stats. I did try at the start, midway through the season, but he didn't accept a lower squad role. We'll see what happens. I want to keep the guy though because he's so good. Like, he literally always does something for me when he's on the pitch from a starting position. 4 goals and 5 assists in 27 games as well. Really, really solid backup winger to have, but it all depends on whether he'll accept a lower squad role than important. I don't know whether he will, so it might be his last season for us this year. I guess we'll see. Bishop, though, man, I said I was going to give him some game time this season, and I did. 2 goals in 30 games, but 6 assists as well. He was solid, particularly in the Premier League, and grew 2 to 76 overall as well. I said I'm looking for a replacement for Femi Aziz. Maybe I've already got one. Maybe I've already got one here at 18 years old and up 2 to 76 overall as well. Kundal didn't grow a rating this year again, mostly played garbage time, so I might sell him for the new season, especially with only 12 months left on his deal. And Tyler Shaw, who's now as good as him out on loan at Real Oviedo, due to return in January. I thought it was in the summer, but okay, fair enough. As for one of the OGs, Harvey Nibbs, upper rating to 76 overall. Yep, 50 games for us this season, played, I think, more than anyone else other than Reggie Bond in this team in the outfield. 8 goals and 9 assists in 50, but also worth pointing out that most of his starts this season actually weren't at CAM. It was at CDM and starting alongside Gruev after the Tapia injuries. But Nibbs, man, going nowhere, 29 years old. I do want him to take a reduced squad role now that Anderson's taking his place at CAM. I'll try and negotiate a contract in the summer, but Harvey Nibbs, one of the OGs. I said I want him till he retires, man, and you can see why. He's so versatile, but also so solid, man. Barely ever complains. I wanted to take a rotation squad role and stay with us until retirement. Camera, he's going to be leaving to join FC Winterthur on a free transfer in the summer. Totally fine with that, one of the OGs. But as for Anderson this season, winning that assist title, 16 in 33, scored in the cup final as well, plus the 6 league goals too, and up 5 ratings to 81 overall. Yep, that experience at St. Pauli, like I said, man, it was either going to make him or break him. Turned out to be the former. This kid is a baller, man. Absolute baller. I just love how many youth players we've got in this team that are playing meaningful minutes and showing me they are more than good enough to be starters in this team. Janito Davis only agreed to 1 rating this year. Might try and loan him out for the new season, but I love his dribbling and the 4-star skill moves as well. Did get me a goal in Europe and 1 in the Premier League as well. I'll try and loan him out for the new season. As for Femi, 10 goals and 4 assists in 25 league games and 3 goals in 7 European games as well. He was solid, man. I said I'm looking for a replacement for him on the right-hand side, but I don't need to. He still does pretty well, but he seems to get more tired than other players. I can't really describe it. He's got a decent stamina at 78, but for some reason, this dude always has to come off at like 70, 75 minutes. He's always a bit tired at that point, but even so, I'm not going to sell him, that's for sure. He might accept a rotation role for the new season, but I'm not going to sell him. Been here since season 1 and still a big part of our team. We've got a player, like I said, out on loan right now with Swansea. That is Alfonso Rodriguez. He's grown 4 to 76 overall. So, yeah, if we do go for a replacement, we've got 2 youngsters, Bishop and Rodriguez, that could take his place as we look to phase Femi back to the bench like we've done with Harvey Nibbs. I guess we'll see as Rodriguez is coming back for the new season. As for Espria, Was he player of the season? If not, then he was second. 16 goals in 36 games in the league, but 6 assists as well. 3 goals in 6 in Europe, 2 and 6 in the cup as well. His goal to game ratio from the wing was fantastic. 79 overall now, still getting slightly better year after year, and I still think I'll get him into the low 80s. Yasser Asprilla, man. Streets won't forget this season. He was phenomenal, and there's no way we would have won the Premier League without the Colombian on that left-hand side. It was his best season to save so far, no doubt about that. Castro's grown 5 out on loan at Espanyol. Pinto, we gave the pro deal to, has got the exciting prospect. I'll try and loan him out for the new season and let you know where he goes. As for Obafemi, just the 3 goals, 1 in all 3 of our competitions outside the Carabao Cup, but didn't grow our rating. I literally just signed him to be a backup for Amdouni and hopefully get me a goal here or there, and he did. Scored a couple of important goals as well, including I think a game winner in the league as well. So yeah, Michael, I know it's a dagger, but even so, Obafemi didn't grow any ratings, but just here as a better backup striker for Amdouni, it's all I could ask for him, man. He did a decent job playing mostly garbage time, but as for Amdouni, would I give him the Player of the Season award or Asprilla? Maybe they can share it, but Amdouni, 17 goals in 34 games, plus 8 assists as well, averaging 1 in 2 in the Premier League, but also in Europe. That was where I felt he was his best. 7 goals in 9 European games, plus the assists as well. Never would have made the semi-finals without him, and this is why I turned out the bid from West Ham. We could have sold him, we could have found a better striker, but I said he fits our play style perfectly, because he doesn't just get the goals, but the assists as well, as you saw the stat sheet there a moment ago. I often say this, but it's not about the player with the highest rating. It's how you feel controlling them, but also as well whether they fit your play style and your system and shape as well. Amdouni is literally, with the ball control, the dribbling, the 85 short pass, so good at playing players in. And that's why Asprilla got so many goals. I guarantee that most of Asprilla's goals were assisted by Zeki Amdouni. It's just how good this guy is in our team. Could we have found a better striker in terms of rating overall? Possibly, but he fits our team better than anyone else, and that's why we kept him here. As for Kelvin, he'll be leaving to join Middlesbrough at the end of the season, so he's here since Season 1, one of the OGs leaving on a free transfer. I don't know if we're going to give Jonathan Johnson a new deal as well, to be fair. Probably just going to let him go. But that'll do it for today's episode and the season finale, guys. So big thank you for watching the end of Season 5. If you've enjoyed it, please drop a like. Bit of a bittersweet ending to the season, I must say, winning our first ever Premier League title, but bottling the FA Cup. But even so, like I said, come the end of that FA Cup final, it doesn't distract from a fantastic season. First ever year in Europe, get into the Final Four, only being beaten by the team who went all the way to win it. No shame in that. And whilst we might have lost the FA Cup final, back-to-back cup finals, Reading hadn't been to a single one in the club's history until last season. Now we've had back-to-back and winning their first ever Premier League as well. A slightly bitter ending to a season, but it was still, on the whole, a really successful one. Have a fantastic day, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the brand new season of the Summer Career Mode, going to the Champions League for the first time ever and defending a Premier League title as well very soon.